Ever since I turned 18 5 years ago, I've blown at least a couple $1,000 every year doing something stupid. In total, it's around $50,000, which is pretty insane to think about. That's a brand new car or a down payment on a house I could have had. Sometimes learning lessons the hard way, even multiple times, is what it takes to be better in the future, though. So while I play 1.8 Minecraft, I'm going to unveil how I bankrupted and handcuffed myself for a couple years with a major mistake, made similar mistakes in following years, and how I plan to beat this gambling curse going forward. So my initial gamble, very first gamble, was not getting a job at age 16 or 15. I didn't get a job till I turned 18. Actually, right before I turned 18, it was 17 and a month, or excuse me, 11 months. And I finally got a job at a store called Meyer, and I was pushing carts initially and got promoted to be a personal shopper inside the store. I went from making $10.50, I think, to $11.15, something like that. I don't know. It was really bad. It was not much money at all. And I know it's actually worse in other states where the minimum wage is not as high. Technically now, here in Illinois, the minimum wage is $15, but back then it was not $15. It was like 10, and I was right at the minimum wage there. But yeah, that was the initial thing, was I didn't get a job, and I needed some of that experience when I was younger. I think I missed out on that, and I needed to make some money because there was definitely some things that I missed out on in my high school years not having money. Like, it was kind of a mistake. And then I probably made the worst decision I could have made. And that was betting all the money that I made in these 6 months that I worked, which was $10,000 roughly, putting it all into crypto, which seemed like a great idea, right? Bitcoin going up, 2021. This was 2020, 2021. It's like, oh, let me trade some crypto. Let me make some money here. My friend told me about it. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And so I bought into Bitcoin, I bought into Ethereum, then I bought into Cardano, and I bought into these really small coins. Because I'm like, oh, you can make more money on these small ones, which, if you're not familiar with it, it's like penny stocks. There's a lot of scams, and they pretty much, a lot of them go to zero, especially after, prices rise, and in the bull market and the bear market comes, you lose all your money. That's what happened to me. I bought the altcoins, I bought NFTs, I bought a miner. I blew all kinds of money. That $10,000, I made some money, and then I reinvested it all right back, blew it all. In total, I lost $30,000 by the end of 2021. I mean, kind of bleeding into 2022 into the bear. I didn't sell, and then most of the coins I had just went to zero. Like, legitimately just went to zero. NFTs went to zero. Everything went to zero. The miner I bought, the coin became worthless. It was truly a mess, and boy, oh boy, there's some regrets there. Now, I stepped away from kind of that stuff for a while. I was like, okay, well, let me focus on a skill and trying to make some real money. So I did that, and then I kind of got into stocks. I wanted to make some videos on it, so I made a video on stocks. I blew another $500 there on an options trade because Meta was coming out with I don't know if it was the Metaverse or the Meta glasses or whatever it was, and I was like, yeah, they're going to go up tomorrow when they announce it. Well, I was already priced it, and I lost $500 on an option in a day. Then I bought some other stocks, lost some money, and I was like, all right, well, let me stay away from this. So I still have a couple grand, left in like Ethereum, and my shit was like, it was like $1,000 because I had one Ethereum, and that's like what's still standing to this day is my one Ethereum, and I didn't really care about stocks, didn't really care about crypto for a while. So I went off and built a business, struggled for a long time, but eventually found a business that worked, made some money, and had some money in the bank account. And then I started actually gambling for yet again another video. I was like, let me gamble. So I went onto Roobet, and I literally just gambled away $1,000. I had done it once for a video. I bet like $50 and I turned it into $100. I was so hyped. I was like, oh, I did it once, I can do it again. So I go in with $1,000 and I play blackjack and I play the one rocket ship game, whatever it's called, on Roobet, and I blew it. I blew all $1,000. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Then I get into meme coins. We're now all the way now in 2024, which was last year. And yeah, we're getting in the meme coins craze. I think I blew $5,000 maybe 6 on Inklings. I bought and traded, several coins. Then I made my own coin, bought into my own coin, tried to pump it up, lost money there. Then we get into prediction markets, which is what I'm also still kind of doing right now. Oh boy. And so prediction markets last year actually made like $80, which was pretty cool. Turned 1,000 into 1,086. So really didn't make a whole lot, but that was nice. I also had bought more crypto last year. So I bought I made a video about it on my main channel, but about $10,000 worth of crypto. I had this cash. I was like, well, I need to do something with it. I need to invest my money. Well, that money is kind of not worth a whole lot now, but I bought more altcoins. I bought a little bit of Bitcoin, so at least I'm up on that. But that was August of last year. And more gambling was essentially what I was doing. I bought some stocks, and I have a couple stocks, but really they haven't done a whole lot. It's investing is not really my forte, is what I'm finding out. And I'm also finding out that investing is kind of just like gambling, but maybe on a delayed timeline. Whereas gambling is just you find out really quick whether you're going to make money or not. So this year, I've been using prediction markets as my form of sports betting. And I've bet on a lot of the sports games. So whether it was some of the basketball games, and I actually did make some money off of the OKC Thunder winning the championship. I bet on several of their games in the playoffs. Made some money, lost some money, ended up ahead, which was great. I truly believed in my team, and that we were going to get it done. We got the job done, won the NBA title. But now here into the NFL season, I was like, yeah, I have a picks league where I do picks every year. And so every year I pick the 272 NFL games, and maybe I pick 180 correct, maybe I pick 170 correct, something like that. So I was like, okay, well, if I pick all those just in gambling form on prediction markets, I should make money, right? If I get 170 right and I get 100 wrong, well, 170 is better than 100, so I should make money. Well, the first 2 weeks started off great, made $100 combined. Since then, I've kind of doubled down on some of my bets during the games, which I will not do in the future. That is a terrible idea. That is emotional gambling, and that's some more of the similar mistakes. Yeah, don't do that. And I've now lost $400, so that's pretty fun. And my plan going forward is to continue doing this because I'm also doing it for a video. And my plan going forward is, first of all, actually to continue doing this, only because I'm doing a video for it on my main channel. I think I can get it back, potentially. If not, well, it is what it is. I don't know. And second, to be way more selective with the cryptos, with these stocks that I select to invest in. And even in some of these prediction markets, be a little more cautious with my picks. Try to be smart, as reasonably smart as I can be in these gambling times. What I mean by that is try to simplify things and only invest in the things that I know truly about. And crypto is just kind of oh, this sounds cool, or this seems to make sense. Let me just throw money into it and not do the research. Definitely need to do the research. With football, I know football inside and out, but the one thing you don't know is the results of the game. And there's upsets, there's bad calls, there's this, there's that. So it's really unpredictable. That makes it fun. That also makes it very infuriating when you lose. So that one's tough. I mean, maybe the trick is to just bet on the team in the long term versus game to game, week to week. That is how I actually was able to predict the Thunder. That's how I made $100. I bet on them at the beginning of last season. So maybe that's the tech. That's the method to make money. I don't know. You believe in a team and you invest in them that way. I don't know. But I think that if you can identify opportunities that are undervalued, so if you could find a market, before it booms, when everybody's talking about it, and that's obviously way harder done. And obviously that's way harder to, obviously that's way easier, and obviously that's way easier said than done. But I think that's the true way to build wealth. Yes, you can just buy into mutual funds, buy into ETFs, and just hold them for a long time. But I think really identifying those companies or cryptos that are going to, or just assets in general that are going to pop over the next 10 to 20 years is a great way to do things. And I think that's my plan going forward. Investing in my IRA and even just in stocks in general is pick a couple, not a lot, but just a couple that you truly believe in that can make money and actually be of use to the world, and see where other people can buy into the hype. If a company or a crypto or something can't generate hype, it's not going to be able to go up. That's something that I've kind of been able to figure out, is like what gets the most attention is going to have the most volume and have the most, potential inflow. Obviously, with AI going on right now, there's so much inflow into Nvidia. Having the highest market cap in the world right now, with almost $5 trillion, which is absurd. And what's even crazier to think is there's still $7 trillion of cash just sitting on the sideline, just waiting to be injected into the market, which is a whole other topic. But identifying Nvidia before it pops, identifying Amazon before it pops, harder to do than it actually is to say. But if you can do that, I think that's how you're going to make money. And that's my thesis going forward, is to look for these kind of companies, look for these kind of cryptos. And I mean, Bitcoin as a whole, I think, is going to only go up as time goes on. You see gold right now is just popping. And I mean, if you bought gold a couple years ago, it was an undervalued asset. So what are some undervalued assets that you can look at? That's kind of the strategy that I'm going to be going with forward. Maybe I will do some more trading, I think, in a short term, just in terms of okay, I think this is going to do well in the next quarter. I'll do some swing trades. I think that's a way to at least make some money versus the long-term 10 to 20. Because otherwise, if you're not prepared to hold for a long time, it might just get screwed, kind of like how I have. I mean, if you just pick better things, then it would work out. But there is an epidemic with the prediction markets. It has become so easy to just bet on the outcome of anything. You can bet on whether Trump's going to say a word. You can bet on whether Powell's going to say good afternoon during a Fed meeting. You can bet on the outcome of literally anything. Prediction markets are quite absurd. It's pretty fun. It's addicting. There's a lot of dopamine, but it is absurd degeneracy that is just kind of reflects America and reflects peak capitalism, peak degeneracy. I don't even know if there's another word for it. It is absurd. So I don't think this is necessarily a good thing. I don't think it's it's wrong. But I don't think it's good for the economy. I don't think it's good for people, where they're going to get emotionally invested into it, and they're going to make some dumb decisions, and they're just going to blow money on more stupid things besides OnlyFans and whatever else their crazy hobbies may be. So yeah, that's my little TED Talk for the week. All in all, to say, try not to be dumb with your money. Try to be smart. Really think things through. Don't just swipe. Everything is so easy now to invest, especially with Robinhood. I love Robinhood. It is so easy to do everything, but because it's so easy, it's very easy to just make a dumb decision, and that's something that I have done several times, and unfortunately continue to do. But I think if I have a actual strategy set in place that I stick to and I follow, that would be the best recipe for success, because I haven't really had that. I've just kind of made decisions on a whim, thinking, yeah, this is what's going to work. Well, what's my strategy? What are my goals, and what steps can I take to get to that goal with my investing, with my gambling? Where it's okay, every year I have $1,000 that I'm going to gamble, and whether I win or lose doesn't matter. But I have $1,000 every year I can gamble. Maybe that's a rule. Maybe it's a rule of you invest $5,000 every year into a stock, and you're willing to lose that money. That could be your rule. Whatever it may be, best of luck to you, and I will catch you guys in the next Minecraft playthrough here on my Forever World. Take care.